I want you to imagine this. You're scrolling through your phone late at night, half asleep, and you see an ad. Someone promising a way to double your money in 30 days. It looks so real. The graphics, the testimonials, even the comments. You pause. Maybe this is it, you think. Maybe this is the thing that finally gives you a little breathing room. And then, somewhere deep down, a tiny voice whispers, "This feels off." But it's quiet. Almost easy to ignore. That's exactly how scams work. They know how to get inside that space between hope and fear, between desire and doubt, and they exploit it. And the truth is, almost all of us have been at risk of falling for something like this, at some point. Here's the thing. Most people think falling for a financial scam is about being naive, careless, or stupid. And I get it. Society loves that narrative. But the reality is far more subtle. Scams aren't designed to trap idiots. They're designed to trap humans. Humans who are stressed. Humans who are hopeful. Humans who want a little extra breathing room in life. Think about it. How often do we feel that tension between what we want and what we have? Bills piling up, deadlines looming, family responsibilities. Money isn't just numbers. It's anxiety. It's stress. It's fear of missing out. Scammers don't trick people because they're gullible. They trick them because they understand human psychology better than most of us understand ourselves. And that's the first thing I want you to see. If you've ever almost fallen for a scam, or even just clicked the link, it doesn't make you a failure. So, let's break this down. I want to walk through 7 financial scams that are surprisingly common, and why they get people every single time. First, the get-rich-quick scheme. These are the classics. Crypto, trading platforms, secret methods to make money online. What they all share is this. They promise speed over reality. They make you feel like everyone else is doing it, and if you don't act, you'll miss out. Psychologically, this taps into what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. FOMO can make our brains short-circuit. We stop reasoning clearly because the anxiety of missing a perceived opportunity is louder than the voice of caution. Most people think, I can risk $100. What's the worst that happens? But what actually happens is hundreds or thousands vanish before the brain even registers the loss. People who are normally careful with their money, suddenly wiring thousands to a stranger because their brain was convinced the alternative was losing the chance of a lifetime. 2. Fake investment advisors. These are the people who come off looking incredibly professional. They have slick websites, certifications you've never heard of, and stories of incredible returns. What they exploit is trust and authority. Our brains are wired to defer to perceived expertise, especially in complex areas like finance. And when we feel overwhelmed, we outsource decision-making to anyone who seems to know more. That's why so many people hand over life savings to someone who, if you looked closer, had no right to be trusted in the first place. 3. Phishing and identity theft scams. This is the one that feels more like a trap than a lure. You get an email that looks like it's from your bank. It's polite, urgent, and just believable enough. It triggers an immediate react, don't think response. The scary thing here isn't just the money, it's the violation. They're exploiting your habits, your routines, and your trust. And because it's so subtle, even people who consider themselves careful can fall prey. The psychology here is simple. Urgency plus familiarity plus authority equals very dangerous. 4. Pyramid schemes. These have been around for decades, and they keep coming back because they touch a very human desire. Social proof. Look at all these people making money. If I join, I could too. Our brains are wired to trust the herd. When everyone around you seems to be succeeding, it feels rational to follow. But the moment you're at the bottom tier, the math guarantees loss. And yet, the promise of connection, community, and wealth blinds people to the numbers. 5. Lottery and prize scams. You've won. Just send $50 for processing. We laugh at these online, but they work because they exploit hope. We all fantasize about a life-changing win, even for a second. That little spark of possibility can override skepticism. It's the same brain hack casinos use. Tiny wins keep people playing. In scams, the win is fake, but the emotional rush is real. and it's enough to make rational thought disappear. 6. Romance scams. This one hits differently because it's not just about money. It's about emotional manipulation. You meet someone online, they become your confidant, your friend, your lover, and suddenly, they ask for money. Scammers exploit empathy, loneliness, and the human need for connection. The interesting and painful psychology here is that victims often know, logically, it's suspicious, but emotionally, they can't let go because the connection feels real, and so money gets sent, sometimes repeatedly, not out of ignorance, but out of hope and emotional investment. Subscription traps and hidden fees. Finally, there's the everyday scam, the free trial that isn't free, the subscription you forgot to cancel, the fine print that costs more than you realize. These are less dramatic but incredibly common. They exploit inattention and inertia, two things we all experience. Most people aren't scammed out of millions. They're slowly drained over time, often by things that feel harmless at first. And psychologically, that makes it worse, because the pattern of loss is gradual. You don't notice it until months later, and by then, you've built a mental resistance to even questioning it. Here's the shift I want you to feel. Understanding these scams isn't just about protecting your money. It's about understanding yourself, your desires, your anxieties, your blind spots. Every scam is effective because it mirrors a real part of human psychology. When you realize that, the lens changes. You stop seeing scams as traps that could strike you randomly, and start seeing them as predictable patterns of human behavior. That means awareness, mindfulness, and even emotional regulation become your most powerful defenses. Money mistakes stop being moral failings. They become learning opportunities, and suddenly, you're less reactive, more intentional, and more at peace. So, how do you protect yourself in real life without going paranoid? First, pause. Scams rely on urgency. A few hours, a day, even a week can save you from decisions you'll regret. Second, verify. If someone promises returns that seem too good to be true, research. Call your bank. Check reviews outside of the platform. Scammers rely on isolation. Don't let them isolate you. Third, check yourself. Why are you tempted? Is it hope, fear, loneliness, or pressure? Understanding your emotional state can stop you before the money even leaves your account. And finally, systems help. Set up alerts for suspicious transactions, track subscriptions, and make it a habit to pause before sending money. Habits are more powerful than willpower, especially when your brain is being played.